What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is TheUziGunner here, bringing you people my Week 10 UBL match and the semi-finals all in one video. Now, before I start, of course, there are some certain explanations I need to go through. One of them being the fact that unfortunately there is no Week 9 because my opponent Hawk ended up backing out during that week, which kind of sucks because he was amongst all the other competitors. He was doing quite well, and I really wanted to face him. So yeah, that kind of sucks. Really sorry that match never happened, guys. But yeah, we ended up getting a forfeit victory as a result, which means that it's all but a guarantee that we're going to the semifinals anyways, because the rule is the #1 person in each conference ends up getting a bye week and does not have to go through the quarterfinals, meaning that we have one less battle to face, and that's pretty damn awesome. So yeah, as far as our opponents go. I'm obviously gonna go through Carl first because he's my Week 10 opponent. It really wasn't something I prepped a good amount of time in, but rather something I just put together, to be honest, because like I was actually kind of busy back then. But overall, like obviously I still have all all the intentions to end up winning, but yeah, let's see how it goes. But so just a quick rundown of my team real quick. I got Fire MZ Infernape with Close Combat, Flare Blitz, Swords Dance, and Stone Edge, with the last move obviously to hit Toa Kiss, Rotom Heat, and Volcanion. But in reality, I probably should not have used put that move to begin with. Like if anything, priority is a very pivotal portion of any squad, and considering the fact that my squad has capabilities of running so much priority, me not running it actually is kind of stupid on my behalf. So yeah, there's that. Unfortunate. Like, I kind of wish I brought Mach Punch, but it's whatever. This match is already done with anyways. But yeah, next up we got a Life Orb Weavile with Knockoff, Icicle Crash, Pursuit, and Low Kick. Again, no priority because I thought that was a good idea. But yeah, Low Kick is mainly there to hit that Registeel really hard, and Pursuit is mainly there to potentially trap the Ambipom and whatnot, which I think is still a decent bring on my behalf, to be honest, because it can, get some very crucial damage off and whatnot. But yeah, next up we got Life Orb Nidoqueen with Earth Power, Stealth Rocks, if I recall correctly. I think? I don't even remember. Earth Power, Sludge Wave. Wait, I think I have the team here. Yeah, Earth Power, Sludge Wave, Stealth Rock, and Toxic Spikes. Yeah. So I did have the right set all along. It's Timid because I wanted to outspeed something that I don't really recall. But yeah, next up, of course, we got a specially defensive Kangaskhan with Wish, Protect, Return, and Toxic. Pretty standard set, and it's actually the first time I brought in a proper match. The one against Danekii does not count. But yeah, like it's a pretty decent mon to pass wishes with, and it ensures that most of my Pokemon don't end up going down. And considering the fact that he has the credentials to really have an easy time breaking my team, I think Kangaskhan is a pretty nice asset here. So yeah, for the final two Pokemon, I got a rather specially defensive Mega Blastoise. Not that much specially defensive, but still overall quite specially defensive with Dark Pulse, Rapid Spin, Scald, and yes, Aura Sphere and Dark Pulse. Yeah, Aura Sphere, Rapid Spin, Dark Pulse, and what else did I have exactly? Man, my memory is so hazy. Yeah, Ice Beam. Sorry about that. But yeah, that was also pretty stupid of me, because even though like I brought that move specifically for that Cofagrigus of his, the fact of the matter is like Cofagrigus is the likelihood of his Cofagrigus coming was pretty least likely anyway. So yeah, like I kind of goofed by not having Scald or a Water type move, but it's whatever. For the last Pokemon, we got it's a pretty different Uxie set. It's actually a Choice Scarf physically defensive Uxie with Foul Play, U-Turn, Psychic, and Foul Play, U-Turn, Memento, and Trick. Sorry about that. And the main idea behind that set would have to be like to set up my Infernape for a sweep. But while I definitely agree that I brought the right kind of set for this match here, which was mainly here to basically take on a +2 Mega Gallade and just outright knock it out with the Foul Play, because like in case you can't tell by looking at the without looking at my entire team, it kind of struggled a lot against what you may call it Mega Gallade. So yeah, it's a pretty nice set, but Regrettably, I did not run enough speed. Regrettably, I think I could have ran enough speed. So, yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it for this team. I'm just going to hop right into this battle and show you how it goes. So, yeah. Let's start right now. Our opponent is going to lead off with George, aka the Ambipom. I'm just going to get my free nice and clean free Mega Evolution off. He's going to go for a fake out that's going to do absolutely pitiful damage because I have a lot of HP investment. As now he is going to go straight for a U-turn. No shit, Sherlock. As I am going to just fire off a Dark Pulse because I figured that, you know what, it would be my best play. I expected the Togekiss to come out, but instead I get this. But yeah, I'm gonna get some nice damage off courtesy of an Aura Sphere, which is pretty damn good because like Registeel was one of those annoying Pokemon for me to take down, and just getting that damage off on him just means that I'm going to be able to knock it out the next turn with my Weavile, my Infernape, my Nidoqueen, you name it. But yeah, I'm gonna go straight out into my Mama Jolt. The Kim especially defensive Kangaskhan. I'm going to eat the Air Slash just fine, and I'm just going to fire off a Whoosh in the air. Another thing, guys, I'm sorry if my narration is kind of off. I'm actually fasting, like Ramadan has begun. So yeah, Ramadan Karim, everyone. And he's gonna make a solid play by going for a Toxic, but like in the end, I'm still gonna get my Matty Brawler back up to 100%, which is pretty damn awesome. So yeah, I am going to just go for an Ice Beam here. I don't really understand why he went to that Pokemon. I really thought he would go to his Togekiss or his Volcanion, but it's whatever. Again, I kind of wish I had Water Stab, because if I had gone for that, this Rotom, he would have been pushing up Daisies, but it's whatever. Here, I just go for a Protect to see exactly what he wants to go for, and I did my calcs. I take any hit this Ambipom wants to go for because it's a weak-ass piece of shit. I'm going to go for one more Protect and get myself back up to a pretty decent amount of HP, and I believe I go hard out into my Nidoqueen, expecting him to go for a knockoff to begin with, which he actually does go for. And as of now, I just take this as the perfect opportunity to get my rocks up because, yeah, he has a Togekiss, he has a Volcanion, he has a Rotom. You do the math. So he goes for what I assume to be HP Ice. And I am just going to throw up another Wish in the air because, again, that's what Kangaskhan is meant to do. And I believe I switch out straight into my Nidoqueen just simply for the sake of getting this thing back up to a very good amount of health, which I'm going to be able to do. As I'm going to fire off a nice and clean Earth Power, he's going to go for an Earthquake. He's unfortunately going to be able to snag a crit on me, which is kind of annoying, but it's whatever. I'm able to knock out the Registeel, as now out comes this thing. It's really annoying, but either way, I'm going to go out into Ice Leap, aka my Uxie. I'm going to go hard back out in my Wujishang, expecting him to go for a knockoff, which he exactly does. And now I just pretty much take this as the chance to go for a free-ass Stone Edge because, yeah, that was my best move anyways. Still, had I possessed a nice and clean stab in Mouth Punch, I think it would have been better, but it's whatever. He makes a very solid play by predicting my Nidoqueen to switch out, in my Infernape to switch out, and goes for a Sword Dance with his Mega Gallade. But as always, I do have a pretty nice tech with me, which would have to be that foul play Uxie, and we're going to be able to knock it out. But yeah, out comes this thing, and now I make a very bad play by going out into this, as now he goes for a Flame Charge. So, in theory, what my better play would have to be definitely just letting my Uxie go down, because in doing so, not only do I get, you know, as much damage as I possibly could with a courtesy of foul plays, it also means that there is absolutely nothing that this Volcanion could go for with Steam Eruptions and whatnot, because I would be able to take them all and be able to take it out eventually. But thanks to the, you know, Stealth Rock damage along with Toxic damage as well as the Flame Charge damage, I'm going to regrettably be put in range of the next Earth Power to knock me out, and that pretty much just spells disaster. Now, in theory, I should be able to outspeed this thing because, yeah, if I had invested enough speed, which was literally just enough EVs to outspeed Max Timid Volcanion, but unfortunately that's not the case. He is going to show the Water Z, meaning that my hopes of winning are just pretty much out of the window. And unfortunately, our winning streak is going to come to an end, and we are going to lose 3-0 against Russiancarl. So yeah, very good game to my opponent. While I would say that I definitely was on the better hand of this game throughout the majority of it, he pulled off some nice tech and Flame Charge Volcanion, and he was able to sweep my ass. So yeah, very good game to him. I still think that if anything, if there's anything I learned from this match, it would be the fact that priority is very important, because this would not have happened otherwise. But it's whatever. You win some, you lose some, you learn from it, and you come out stronger from it. But yeah, that's all there is to it. Let's move on to the semifinals. As we're back right now for the semifinals of the UBL, and we are going to be going up against none other than Rewt of the New Jersey Brobats. So yeah, I'm gonna show you guys what I cooked up real quick. As far as Rewt's team goes, you can see that obviously right here and now, and just pretty much deciphered that it is a pretty, like, it's not necessarily the best, because I find it quite passive, to be honest, but he still possesses a good number of threats, for which if I don't play my cards carefully around, I am not going to be coming out on the better hand of the exchange. So yeah, I need to definitely prep carefully, specifically for the Delphox, which I'm grateful that he never brought it, to be honest. But yeah, as far as my team goes, I'm going to do a quick rundown of it real quick. We have a Nidoqueen with Earth Power, Sludge Wave, Flamethrower, and Disable, which is a pretty decent tech I guess you could say. Like, initially I had Super Fang specifically to whittle down that Mega Venusaur of his, because I expect him to bring the same set which he brought against me last time, which would have to be that Curse variant, like a Curse Power Whip Earthquake variant. But like, I figured that, you know what, I may as well, to put an entire stopping to that, I need this set. And Disable really does come through in that certain aspect, especially if he has Synthesis and whatnot. So in that sense, I definitely expected to put in the work. It has enough speed investment to be able to outspeed Primarina anyways. So yeah. Next up, we got a KreselleKey, a Thunder Wave, aka the KreselleKey, rocking the light screen, rocking the let's see, what's that move called again? Yeah, Reflect. And for the final two moves, we obviously got Spikes and Dazzling Gleam, because I do not want to just have, you know, support moves and no ways of hitting any of his Pokemon. So yeah, no Thunder Wave, which is kind of unfortunate, but you know what? I think I can live. I think I can live without it, to be honest. And yeah, next up we got an Adamant Infernape with Swords Dance, Flare Blitz, Close Combat, and Mach Punch. This time I got priority with me. Don't worry about that. I learned from my mistakes, and this set is pretty much here to break his entire squad. Because in case you can't tell by looking at the vast majority of his squad, he really does not switch into Fire EMZ Flare Blitz so well, especially after Rocks. So it's definitely going to be a solid breaker in this match, and it can definitely win me the game if I play my cards properly. But yeah, for the final three Pokemon, we got physically defensive Uxie rocking the Papa Berry this time around, with Stealth Rock, U-Turn, Dazzling Gleam, and Thunder Wave. No, Psychic and Thunder Wave. And the idea behind this set is the fact that, you know what, for my team composition alone, it's no secret that KreselleKey would be my usual Thunder Waver. So the chances of him, you know, trying to play aggressively or recklessly with his Greninja is pretty likely. In which case, I'll be able to take any single hit he wants to go for and be able to retaliate with a Thunder Wave. And even if he ends up being Specs, that's actually good for me, because my Papa Berry is going to pop up and put me back up to a very good amount of HP anyway. So yeah, there you have it. And as for my final two Pokemon, I got a very offensive Weavile, as always, with Icicle Crash, Pursuit, Knockoff, and not Ice Shard, that is for sure. I don't really recall exactly what it is, to be honest, but it really does not play a factor anyways. So, yeah. And it has the Muscle Band to top it up, so that it can do a good amount of damage to begin with. And for the final Pokemon, we got a specially defensive Decidueye, aka my AJ Styles, rocking the Swords Dance, Leaf Blade, Spirit Shackle, and Roost, because I do not want to get walled by Taurus and whatnot. Actually, no. It had Leaf Blade before, but I replaced it with Shadow Sneak, specifically because, again, I need priority. And +2 Shadow Sneak is actually pretty nice, because it deals with my priority issues, and it can, you know, get some surprise KOs off if I play my cards properly. So yeah, that's basically all there is to it. And as you can see, Rewt brought a team which I did not expect, to be honest, because if anything, I really expected him to bring hazards against me, considering how it can do a good number to me. But hey, it's still good for me because now this gives me lots of leeway because there's no Delphox, there's no, you know, Ferrothorn to set up hazards, and that is pretty damn awesome. So yeah, as far as my lead goes, I figured that, you know what, KreselleKey was definitely the best one because he really cannot take advantage of this with anything in his team. So yeah, let's see how this match goes. He is going to lead off with his Jolteon. I'm going to lead off with my Thunder Wave. I'm going to simply just go for a light screen and just have that brush up like it's nobody's business. And since setting up Reflect is pretty much pointless because his only physical attacker is the Serena in theory, I'm just going to set up a Spike and now just go hard out into my Nidoqueen. He tries to go for a Volt Switch, which is pretty damn nice, as now I'm going to get some nice and clean damage off on that Latios of his. But either way, I'm going to switch out now, not wanting to take a Psyshock or something, as he actually makes a nice switch straight out into his Mega Venusaur, as now he actually pulls a switch out into his Greninja, which I found pretty odd. But either way, I'm going to switch out back into my Uxie because it was the best Pokemon to go into, and like, especially with the light screen, I'm able to take any single hit he wants to go for anyways. And yeah, now what I believe I do is just go for a knockoff, seeing exactly he wants to go in his Greninja, because if he does go for that, just being able to knock off his like find out what item it is actually pretty good for me. But yeah, this is a pretty important turn, as what I do here is go out into my Infernape, predicting him to go for a knockoff, because again, the likelihood of me switching out into my Decidueye is so high that you could even write a book about it. And in reality, he really had nothing to lose by making that play. So Infernape was definitely the best one, as yeah, as Z moves do not end up, Z crystals do not end up getting knocked off. And this is very good because now I just get a free hit off and I just knock out the Serena with the Flare Blitz. So yeah. Next up comes the Jolteon. I did my calcs. Mach Punch definitely does not pick this thing up, so I'm gonna go back out in my AJ Styles. He's going to go for a Thunderbolt, get a crit power off on me, which is very annoying to be honest. But yeah, like he's now just gonna go for a Shadow Ball. Obviously, I'm going to be able to eat that just fine since I am almost max specially defensive. And now my goal is to keep on roosting until I, you know, Shadow Sneak this thing and knock it out. Because yeah, I'm going to end up with much more HP in theory, but you know what? I end up getting paralyzed, which really sucks, as this now forces me to reveal some nice tech in Shadow Sneak, which is going to be able to knock out the Jolteon. So in a sense, I guess it worked out because I took out an annoying Pokemon against me. But now this is going to give him a free opportunity to switch into his Meloetta, which is perfectly fine. He's going to go for a Shadow Ball, and that's going to do so much damage to me, showing that this is Specs is all hell, which in theory is very good for me, because now I'm going to be able to go hard out into my Weavile. He's going to pull up some nice tech. He's going to go for a Shadow Ball again, which, you know what, is understandable. And now I just simply go for a knockoff, and he makes a rather questionable play by going out into this. This was definitely not his best play in my honest opinion, because had I just gone for an Icicle Crash, he would have just died. But yeah, we are unfortunately going to end up getting some luck, as his Mega Venusaur ends up getting paralyzed. And now I'm just going to be able to pick this thing off with a knockoff. It really didn't matter because it just took away all his chances of winning. But at the same time, I don't think it really mattered in the grand scheme of things, because I did have a disabled Nidoqueen to cripple it eventually before having some of my other Pokemon take it out, because I still had my Fire MZ on my with my Infernape intact. So yeah. He now chooses to make a pretty awkward switch out straight into his Meloetta. Don't really understand why, because in theory my best switch in was my what you may call it, the KreselleKey anyways, which wouldn't have been able to touch. But he makes another very aggressive play by just going for a U-turn. Don't really understand why, because again, I was just sacking off my AJ Styles, because like now that I found out everything, my Weavile just won. But either way, since he's given me the opportunity, I'm just going to go out in my Thunder Wave. I'm just going to go for a game. I'm going to set up a light screen, as he is obviously going to go for another Psychic. And now all that is left for me to do would have to be going straight out into my Weavile, which he cannot touch under any circumstances, as now I'm going to be able to pick this thing up pretty leniently with a knockoff. And the only Pokemon that remains would have to be that Greninja of his, which will definitely not be able to knock me out with Water Shuriken, especially considering me having the light screen on my side. And we are going to be able to have a nice and clean 6-0 victory against Rewt in the semifinals of the UBL. So yeah, this is so good on so many levels, guys, because this really does help our morale going to the finals. And if anything, it's been a year since I competed in the finals anyway. So we finally have a third shot at winning our first title. Like, we already had 2 attempts before, but unfortunately we never could come out on top. So this really is a huge opportunity, and I really hope that I'm able to come through with it. So yeah, that's gonna be all there is to it for these 2 battles. I hope you guys enjoyed. Sorry for my lackluster narration and half-assed narration because I'm kind of tired. I'm actually kind of fasting. But yeah, you can expect the finals match to come up tomorrow. That is for sure. And yeah, thanks so much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this in any way, as always, feel free to drop a like. And yeah, see y'all next time. Peace.